A few words about my dear friend, Dr. Billy Taylor. When I first started listening to jazz when I was 11 or 12 years old, I was living in West Hartford, Connecticut, which is about 100 miles from New York. And on weekends, on WNEW AM, Billy Taylor had a jazz show. He was the first DJ that I first listened to. Way back then, we're talking about the early 1960s, when DJs played a really important role in this music. And I loved Billy's show. I loved the music he played. And the way he talked about the music was very cool, very welcoming. Some information that I needed as a new listener, but also some encouragement about the music itself. As fate would have it, I moved to New York City in the late 60s, went to NYU Film School, and started hanging out at jazz clubs, and became friendly with another cab driver. I was driving a cab at the time at night, who was also into jazz. It turns out he was Clark Terry's protege. And one day he took me down to see Clark Terry at a Jazzmobile concert near City Hall that Dr. Billy Taylor was doing. And I got a chance to hear Billy live and got a chance to meet him. Very warm, engaging fellow. And when I started to write about jazz in the late 70s, Billy was around, still on the radio, still someone I really admired, loved his playing, and actually met him a few more times. Cut to 2 decades later, in late 1994, I started working on the first major jazz website called Jazz Central Station. Larry Rosen, a record company mogul turned internet executive, was producing the site, and he wanted to get a jazz musician of some note to be our musical advisor, and he was friendly with Billy, and Billy became Jazz Central Station's resident jazz guru. Got to work with Billy some more. Our friendship developed. A few years after that, when the internet crashed, I moved away from working for .com companies. I started producing websites for jazz musicians, and Billy became the first musician whose website I produced. I worked really closely with Billy for 10 years, producing his website and a lot of videos. And that was when, in 2004, I started the Jazz Video Guy. Billy was extremely supportive of what I was doing. In fact, he had a treasure trove of videos in his closet, a lot of performances from the Kennedy Center and from Manchester Craftsmen's Guild, performances that he had done, and he gave them to me. He said, maybe you can use these. And that was the start of the first content for Jazz Video Guy. I started posting that. So, no Billy Taylor, no Jazz Video Guy. Of course, people know Billy from his music and as an educator, as a broadcaster on the radio, and of course from television. He was on CBS Sunday Morning for a number of years. I know him as a very supportive, loyal friend. I miss him greatly. Only one Billy Taylor. And here's a performance of Billy Taylor from his TV show, his Bravo TV show, with Blossom Dearie in the background, performing Duke Ellington's In a Sentimental Mood.
you.